So we were just talking about this. I pre-existed like the whole Pokemon, like anime, like stuff, all that. I wasn't into comic books, any of that stuff. So I was a big Thundercats. My goal is to, when they make the Thundercats movie, I want to be the blue dude. What's his name, Mom? And Panthera! That's who I want to be when I grow up. Like, you know, if Kelsey Grammer can be Beast, I want to be Panther, you know? Both of us can be blue. I was a big, and you know, Tom and Jerry, like I was a big, you know, Saturday morning cartoon guy. So I wasn't really big into cartoons. I was too big outside fighting my neighbors.
When we talk about some of your fictional heroes, you have played some real life heroes. Mr. Hakeem Jamal, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., many real life people, which is an acting challenge in and of itself, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But I wonder, who are the real life heroes that inspired you? Whether it was people who encouraged you on your road to becoming an actor, or just who helped form the foundation of who you are as a person. Because the person you are, it takes a very specific worldview to want these roles that you have definitely pursued, that you've put so much work into.
You know, I had great teachers. I can literally say all of my mentors and all of my guidance came from my teachers. I had, you know, in the New Orleans public school system, I had some amazing, amazing teachers. And every time one teacher dropped me off, another teacher would pick me up. And my first drama teacher, like I was a bad kid. I mean, I wasn't bad, I was from New Orleans. I was just, you know.
You just like to have a good time.
Yeah, you know, I was inquisitive. That's what they call it now, inquisitive. So I had this teacher named Sandra Anderson Richards. And like, she was my first drama teacher. And she was with me from 7 years old to like 16, you know? And from her, I went to NOCA and met Janet Shea, Elliot Keener, Ray Brazell, Henry Hoffman, and they kind of ushered me into being a young adult. And then while I was at NOCA, Ray would go and teach at North Carolina School of the Arts. So Ray personally put me in his car, drove me to Houston so that I could audition for North Carolina School of the Arts. I get into North Carolina School of the Arts. I still had Ray. I go from North Carolina School of the Arts to Juilliard. Then I met Richard Feldman. You know, so I've always had these amazing teachers along the way who guided me out of the naysayers that thought I was crazy for wanting to do what I've wanted to do since I was 7 years old.
I mentioned some of these real life figures that you've portrayed on screen. How do you inform your process? Is it similar for each one, though they're different people, the kind of respect and care that you take in looking into presenting them in a way that you feel is authentic?
Well, you have to relive that we live in 3 different realities. We have 3 different truths. Because, like when I played Tupac, I realized that it wasn't so much what you say about yourself, but what people say about you. I could say something and have good intentions when I say it, but when I turn around, it hurts your feelings. So you tell everybody I'm a mean person. So that's 2 different realities. So the third reality, we live in the reality of what we think about ourselves. We live in the reality of what people think about us, and then we live in the reality of what's said or written about us. Because we can't control the press, we can't control online, that's its own reality. So as long as you're confident in knowing that you're gonna piss off 60%, 66% of the people, you can play whoever you want. You know, because you're never gonna get it right to all 3 groups. And if you do, you've done something exceptional. You know, so it's all about being true to that person and the people who actually spent time and knew that person. I think those are the people you have to target, because all of us are very different. You know, and the way we are in private is very different than the way we are in public.
I've got one more for you. On Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you worked with Malcolm Spellman, one of the great writers in Hollywood. Without whom, I don't think that series would have been the incredible piece of work that it is, right, everybody? What is it like working with Mr. Spellman, a character that you had already established in the Marvel Universe, and that now he was lending his perspective to?
No, Malcolm was amazing. Malcolm is literally everybody's old, angry uncle. he coming over for the holidays, and he gonna say something to upset everybody at the table, and that's Malcolm. So it was fun, because he gave me so much information and so much literature to work off of, and then we kind of scaled back from that. So, there were a lot of things that we had to adjust once we got on set. Like that final speech. That final speech was like a 1.5-page monologue. And I was like, yo, man, nobody want to see me talk for a 1.5 pages. I don't want to see anybody talk for a 1.5 pages. So we went through it, got the bullet points, made the adjustments, and he was 100% open to making it happen. Kari, who directed it, she was an integral part in that process as well. It's funny because she directed the Handmaid's Tale. So when they hired her, I was like, there's nothing about me that says Handmaid's Tale. So this is going to be a disaster, but I can say I got one in. But so it was, and that was always our joke. I was like, I would have been great on the Handmaid's Tale. So, but she really kind of, kept us calm and put us, Sebastian and I, in the pocket of all the chaos that was around us and COVID kicking off and people getting hurt and all this stuff, really keeping us calm in making the show work.
And now we got to turn it over to the fans, and this is the dumbest joke that I got all weekend. On your left, first.
I was wondering if I could show you my wings.
Well, we can't see you very well from over there. Would you mind coming up on the stage? One of our professional cosplayers who was in our cosplay competition last night. Let's hear it for her.
This would be a real disaster if she tries to put her wings up and hit me with the wings.
I mean, if she tries to take off, that's a whole other conversation.
This will go really wrong really fast.
Here we go. All right. Let's see it.
They're motorized!
I told you we had something cool to show you, man. Was I lying?
That's amazing!
Let's hear it for her. Let's hear it. Cindy, everybody, come on!
I have so many questions. I have so many questions. Now, how do you put them down? Okay, this has now become about Cindy. Don't mind me, talk amongst yourselves. Cindy, what is this remote control contraption and how? That's hilarious. It's like when you go into a rich person's bathroom and the toilet seat goes up by itself. Have you ever had that experience? Or like the toilet seat is warm? Like how is your toilet seat warm, Cindy? Come here? How did you? Are they gonna pop out here?
He's asking the question.
Go wrong. Okay, so what did you do? How did you do that?